is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirt, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis, I'm going. What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with a quick video. Today we're going to talk about Russell West again. I had a lot of people wanting to know and some people disagreeing with the fact that is Russell Westbrook an all-star this season? And it is a little confusing because you look at the numbers and it show that he's still making a contribution to the team, still getting his 24 points, which is a lot. And usually if you can average that many points on a team that's winning, you usually have an easy and a great shot of being an all-star. But when you look at the other numbers, this guy is still giving you 7 rebounds and 7 assists, really 8 rebounds and 7 assists, and he's still filling up the box score, and they're still winning games. And he hasn't been the old Westbrook, that the MVP Westbrook, but he has also been solid. And when they have needed him to step up, he has stepped up or he has flopped, and that's why people feel Russell shouldn't be an all-star. You look at his field goal percentage. It's 21 shots a game. He's playing 35 minutes. He's shooting 42% from the field. He's shooting 23% from three, and he's getting better at the free throw line this season compared to last year, shooting 78%, and he's not giving you the 11 rebounds and 10 assists, but he's giving you somewhere that's a lot better than what another point guard would do. He's still giving you a lot of turnovers with the 4.4, and he's giving you more points last year and than OKC. He was the man in OKC. Paul George got hot. He sacrificed a little bit last year, but you look at this season, 24 points is more points, but his numbers are down all across the board when it comes to main stats, just because James Harden takes that much from him because he has the ball in his hand the most on his team, most likely, and that causes Russell Westbrook not to be able to impact the game the way he wants to, because he's a guy that loves having the ball in his hand at every possession that he can, and it's hard to do that when James Harden has the same play style. And we knew that coming into this season that it's going to be tough on Harden and Westbrook as a team to really mesh, well, as teammates to really mesh, but they have found a way to win. I did pick Houston to finish first in the West. I did have James Harden as MVP, but injuries really killed this team this year. They really struggled to stay healthy, and it's unfortunate just because we really didn't know how good they could be at the beginning of the season. But they're starting to figure it out. They're starting to consistently win more the last 2 months. And it did take an adjustment period to play with Russ because he's a superstar player. He is an all-star caliber player this year. And a couple of weeks ago, I told you guys that I don't even know if I have Russell Westbrook on the All-NBA team. I don't even know if I have Westbrook at the All-Star team. But now he's being utilized a lot more. He's needed a lot more. And he's been taking advantage of that opportunity. And the numbers shows that so far. And when you look at this season, this is a guy that averaged 27 points a game in December, and he also shot 24 shots a game like this just last December. He gave you 8 rebounds and 7 assists. Those are the type of numbers you need to put up if you want to be an all-star in the Western Conference. You just look at his numbers in November. He just giving you 21 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. So he has took his game to another level. They have needed him to be a better playmaker. They have needed him to be a better decision maker, and they're relying on him a lot more because of the double teams that James Harden is getting, and that's giving him more opportunity to have the ball in his hands. And we know that when Russell Westbrook has the ball in his hands, he's going to put up numbers because he's either going to score the ball or he's going to find somebody by the rim or outside as a shooter. And this is a team that, like I said, coming into this season, they have the shooting for Russell Westbrook, They have the floor spacing for Russell Westbrook. They have another guy that can handle the ball and create shots, but also take over games in James Harden. So I don't really think the fit is going to be that bad, but it hasn't been terrible so far. They actually have been still one of the best teams in the West. They haven't been as great as I thought they could be, but I always thought like just because they can win games in the regular season, I still won't pick the Rockets to win a championship. And you look at the teams, it still don't look like Rockets are where they need to be at, but 25-11, that's a hell of a record. And they're on a 3-game win streak so far. So they're third in the West, and they actually only a half game back of being the second team in the Western Conference. So with all the injuries and the trade rumors, all the chaos that's been going on with this team, they have still found a way to win at a high level, at a elite level. And this is a season that it looks like they're gonna be winning 50 games again, and it's really just going to go down to can Westbrook consistently make decisions on the fly while they double team Harden. But we know that Russell Westbrook has led the NBA in assists. He has led the NBA in scoring. So it's not like he's doing something that's tough. It's not like he's doing something that we think he can't do. This is something that he's been doing damn near his whole career. It's just being the guy that can get to the basket, create through passing, even though he has become a significantly better passer than where he was in high school and college in the first couple years in the NBA. But he still has become a solid decision maker. He still is a tough guy to play with. He still do get a little bit too happy, a little bit too competitive to the point where it can be a detriment to the team. But I don't think that still happened. But Russell Westbrook, as we know, he's Russ. This is the guy that they wanted. This is the guy that they got, and they really can't complain about it. And at the end of the day, he has fit well enough, but it's just tough to see this team winning a championship with the type of style of play that they do. They play really to no defense, especially on the perimeter, and that's always going to be a problem just because the best players in the Western Conference are a lot of the times perimeter players, and Capella is not an elite level center either. And James Harden only can really do so much. Yeah, he can get his 30 to 50 to 60, but is that going to be enough to beat the great teams in the Western Conference? You got the LeBrons and the Paul Georges and the Kawhi Leonards and other guys of that ilk in the Western Conference, and they have better teams than this team, and they have better players that fit. But you got to give credit. We know that Daryl Morey going to try to make another move just to make sure this team can really compete, and if he doesn't, I'd be shocked. But I really don't see a player that can really, for cheap, join this team. I don't really see a player that really can make the biggest difference on this team either through a trade, but you never really know. I didn't expect them to get Russell Westbrook until that happened. I didn't expect them to get Carmelo Anthony and Paul George until that happened. So we have to wait and see what's going to happen with this roster and if they're going to try to go all in to the best of their ability to make this team a legitimate championship contender in the Western Conference. But until then, they have been pretty solid. They have meshed well enough, and they showing that they can compete with other duos and showing that this trade isn't the worst. Some people think they should have kept Chris Paul. I probably would agree with that. It just, will he be able to stay healthy throughout the playoffs and throughout the regular season? We know that Chris Paul is a great fit with James Harden because they led the NBA in wins and they got to the Western Conference Finals and it was 3-2 up against the Warriors with Chris Paul being healthy. So we know that how that rolls. And this team has been excellent, but they haven't played at that elite level offensively and defensively since they had Chris Paul. And honestly, they slipped in a lot of those categories this year so far, Russell. And we're going to see Russell Westbrook usually struggles to score consistently and make decisions in the playoffs. And now we're going to see if he's going to be able to do that with James Harden, because that's one of the main reasons why they got rid of Chris Paul, because they felt that Russell Westbrook was an upgrade over Chris Paul. And now we have to see if that's going to be true. Now we're going to have to see if Russell can really be a guy that can push them to another level. And he hasn't done it so far, but he also hasn't been terrible to get to that championship level that they tried to get with Chris Paul. Came close, but no cigar. And Now we got to see how this thing plays out. So at the end of the day, let me know what you guys think. Do you think Russell Westbrook is an all-star this year? Do you think that him and James Harden has been a great fit? Some people feel that they should blow it up while while they got it right now. Russell Westbrook still playing great basketball. Do you think that Russell and Harden can win a championship in Houston? Do you think they just a couple pieces away? Do you think that they just not there yet, or do you think that their window is closed? A lot of people saying their window is closed. A lot of people say they got 2 more years. A lot of people said they went backwards, getting rid of Chris Paul and replacing them with Russell Westbrook. And it don't look like they're that dominant elite team that they was with Chris Paul, but they also don't look terrible. But at the same time, they don't look like championship contenders like the Rockets was, to my personal knowledge and how people feel the last 2 seasons. And if that's the case, you did take a step backwards from being a championship contender if everybody feel like you was for the last 2 years, and people feel like you're just a great team this year, but not a legitimate championship team. But we still have to see how they figure things out as the season continues to go, and we still have to see how great they can be together as a tandem, and if they're going to have to get another piece for them to elevate themselves into the championship contender in the Western and in the entire NBA, which is something that a lot of people feel that they're not. But whatever you feel, let me know in the comment section below. Point away basketball analysis. I'm gone.